Seasonal temperatures range from an average of 52 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter to 86 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer. In some seasons, the temperatures can reach to 32 degrees Fahrenheit at night and 134 degrees Fahrenheit in the shade. The Sonoran Desert is one of the wettest deserts in North America and averages from 3 to 16 inches of rain a year. It has two rainy seasons, one in the summer and another in the winter. The summer rains are short and heavy. The winter rains are longer, lighter, and are more widespread. For the trip to the Sonoran Desert, it is important that you bring the following: 3 to 4 white light color shirts in order to receive less sunlight, 2 to 3 shorts for walking, a bathing suit for water-related activities, a rash guard for water-related activities, sun hat that covers your whole face, 3 pairs of comfortable footwear for walking, rubber gloves and boots, water jacket in case it rains and for the Grand Canyon rafting, warm clothing in case it's cold during the night, a 20-plus ounce thermos, the bigger and carryable, the better. Sunglasses, the darker the more UV rays it deflects. Sunscreen, highly recommended to prevent any damage of the skin. Talc, insect repellent, medicine for any sickness or disease you may have. Items for personal hygiene, toothbrush, brush, deodorant, snacks, lunch will be provided, camera, video camera, or other electronics. This is a climatogram that consists of the elements of climate that are plotted against each other graphically. As you can see, during the summer, the temperature almost doubles and it gets pretty hot. Although conservation efforts are currently being made to protect the biome, human activities are threatening the balance of the Sonoran Desert. Desertification, which is the covering of grass on such deserts, is one of the serious threats. Desertification can occur in many ways. Trees are cut down, overcultivation exhausts the soil, poorly drained irrigation turns cropland salty, desertifying the land. And finally, grazing also contributes to this problem. When the roots of the plants are destroyed or eaten, the thin layer of topsoil turns into dust, which leads to desertification. Pollution is another human threat that is affecting the desert. Humans have built landfills to dump the trash in California, which is a threat to some animals. For example, landfills attract ravens, rats, and coyotes that would threaten the tortoise pollution. An increase in global climate change will lead to droughts, which will increase rates of plant mortality. This should create opportunities for exotic plant invasions that can set the stage for fires. Climate change is expected to alter ground and surface water quantity. Monitoring ecosystems will enable a more thorough understanding of the impacts of human activities on these ecosystems. Sonoran Desert Network monitoring can help to solve this problem by allowing park managers to address proximate issues occurring within park boundaries, and will also provide an index of all overall watershed conditions. Stings from the red imported fire ant create health problems for many humans. When they sting, the venom causes an intense burning and itching, followed by a blister that becomes a white pustule. In some individuals, severe allergic reaction can occur and resulting in anaphylactic shock. To prevent this, cover your skin and clothing with an insect repellent and wear rubber boots and gloves powdered with talc, which helps suffocate ants that might crawl onto your legs and arms. Too much exposure to the sun can cause skin cancer. In order to prevent this, cover your skin with sunscreen and use thin, long-sleeve clothing. Finally, a lack of water can lead to dehydration. It is important that you bring sufficient amounts of water bottles to the trip to avoid dehydrating. The red important fire ant, also known as Rifa, is a small reddish-brown ant brought to the U.S. sometime around the 1930s on ships from South America as ballast waters were dumped or goods were unloaded. They are found in the bordering states of New Mexico and California. They pose a great threat for various reasons. Their sting can cause severe allergic reaction. Rifa alter the composition of the ecological communities in the areas they invade and have been known to attack small mammals, bees, and the eggs of young of many birds and reptile species. They impact plant ecosystems and feed on large quantities of seeds. It is important to protect the desert biomes as they are globally important. Deserts are home to 1/6 of the world's population and cover over 1/5 of the Earth's landmass. Most deserts are also home to a vast array of plants and animals who have adapted to their harsh habitats. The dry condition of deserts also helps promote the formation and concentration of important minerals. Nitrates, potassium, and other salts build up in the deserts when water carrying these minerals evaporates. In fact, over 50% of the world's copper comes from the deserts in Mexico, Australia, and Chile. Desert regions also hold 75% of known oil reserves in the world. Scientists have also discovered that desert sands are an important carbon sink on Earth. Bacteria living in the sands of some deserts help gather and store carbon dioxide from the air. Since carbon dioxide is one of the prime causes of global warming, these desert sands may play a critical role in preventing additional carbon dioxide from entering the atmosphere. Animals and plants are also part of the desert, so people who care about threatened and endangered species are working to solve this problem. For example, in the Sonoran Desert, the National Wildlife Federation is protecting desert tortoises by asking visitors to follow some rules. This includes, for example, never to touch them or bother them in any way, to not take the tortoises for pets, and to not release pet tortoises in the desert, since some might bring disease to the wild ones. In order to protect the deserts, people start making conservation plans, such as the Sonoran Desert Conservation Plan, which fulfills these areas of need. A science-based conservation plan, an update of the comprehensive land use plan, and a compliance with federal regulations that protection of endangered species be addressed through a multiple species conservation plan. Finally, people are trying to preserve and protect the desert's most important natural resources by building national parks. Having the government take part of the creation and keeping of national parks grants security to the biodiversity of the Sonoran Desert. One of the most important national parks is the Saguaro National Park, which protects the saguaro cactus. Finally, people are recycling and conserving energy since the contamination of the environment feeds global warming. This prevents the temperature of the desert to rise. Climate change is one of our biggest concerns for the future of our biome, whose precipitation is a primary cause of the area's amazing species and life form diversity. Since the 1950s, warm-month average daily air temperature has increased by 4 degrees Fahrenheit, and cold-month average daily temperatures have increased slightly more than 8 degrees Fahrenheit over the same period. Climate change has contributed to the loss of 4 amphibian species and other animals. Buffalo grass, a fire-prone grass, is also one of our major concerns, since it will irrevocably alter the Sonoran Desert. Since the late 1950s, almost 3 million acres of desert have been converted to buffalo grass pasture. Without a concerned and sustained regional effort to control further spread, the Sonoran Desert will soon face grassland fires, loss of existing natural desert environment, and costly economic impacts. Buffalo grass is also a threat to the conservation efforts that protect the desert. Finally, our last concern for our biome is the amount of water that would evaporate in the future, which is a factor that contributes to aridity. In some areas, the amount of water evaporating exceeds the amount of rainfall. Rising air cools and can hold less moisture, producing clouds and precipitation. Falling air warms, absorbs moisture. High wind can also contribute to evaporation. This would affect the plants and animals living in the Sonoran Desert. Visit the Sonoran Desert and experience the unforgettable.